Welcome to Conversations with Body and Mind with myself, Antoinette Nirvana. Body and Mind is your health and wellness online directory. And coming up in today's conversation, we'll be chatting to Ashika Shiru, and we'll be chatting about AMS coaching and consulting. AMS, Aspire, Magnify, and Succeed. What a wonderful quote. Good day, Ashika Soorju. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you, Antoinette, and thank you for having me. It's such a joy to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to chatting to you. Now, Ashika, interested in finding out what is AMS coaching and consulting, but before we get into that, I'd like to know a little bit more about you, your personal story, your journey to becoming a coach. Bring us up to date as to what were all the stepping stones, the event in your life that brought you to doing this work.
Sure. I think, I had a series of traumatic events very early in my life, and it pushed me to ask a lot of questions. So, for as long as I can remember, I've always been wanting to know, what's beyond this? What's beyond us growing up? What's beyond going to school? What's beyond going to university? What's beyond getting that degree, that job, earning, having a family, and then dying? What's beyond that? There's got to be more to this existence. So that has been my question, and I think I've just moved with that question throughout my life. The first time I was actually introduced to the mind body spirit link was through a general practitioner. He's our family doctor, and he gave me a book called Creative Visualization. It sat on my bookshelf for 2 years, and then I had the same question, and I thought, let me just read this. So I read it and I was experimenting. It was so far-fetched for me at the time. I thought there was no way that if you could think something into reality, or that your thoughts can change your life. So I started playing around with it, and a series of wonderful things started to happen. And that's how I found Heal Your Life. And I found myself at this workshop 10 years ago, actually. It was the Louise Hay You Can Heal Your Life weekend workshop with Ashika Singh. She heads up the Live Love Academy and is the principal trainer for South Africa. I went to this workshop, and wow, I could not believe what I had learned. And I started to use it in my life, and things started to change in such a phenomenal way. I could not dispute that the positive changes were actually from that workshop. And then I went on to attend more of them because it was such an amazing thing. Every time I went, I just learned something new about myself. And such a beautiful relationship started to grow. I grew in appreciation for who I am, and I learned so much about myself. And I became so passionate about the transformation that was taking place in my life. Then I started to share it with everyone. And yeah, fast forward a couple years, I did the Heal Your Life training. I left corporations in 2013, and I came to KZN with a vision of expanding this knowledge to as many people so they could learn and they could heal and they could alleviate suffering in their own lives. And I think it's just my passion for people. It's my love for humanity, and not wanting to see anybody not live life to its fullest, because it truly is a gift.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically how it started, and here I am today, and we've grown Heal Your Life phenomenally in KZN, the regional ambassador for the team here for Heal Your Life. AMS was born from that passion too. So AMS is my personal brand, and it is exactly that. I think my vision as a coach, as an individual, is to extract the vision in every person I meet. Because if I can extract your vision, then you'll be able to see your personal power. So that's what Aspire means. I want to show you how I can magnify your aspiration.
So that's really great, Ashika. And one of the things that I read on your page on the Body and Mind website was we assist you to identify your core aspiration and then effectively and carefully magnify the focus of that aspiration to create a unique map for your personalized success. That when I read that, it kind of made me think there's a lot of people out there, and I have quite a few things that I'm passionate about. Being an Aries, I would say I like to do a lot of different things, and I find
Mhm.
that now at this point in my life, at the age of 50, 51, I'm struggling to put all my attention into one area. And so when I read that and I thought, how do you, with somebody like myself, and to explain better what AMS coaching is, how would you assist somebody to really get focused but not take away that creativity of a person who likes to do a few different things in their lives to kind of build on to making something a success and still create that creativity?
Absolutely. So I just work on where your passion is, and you could be passionate about two or three things, but what is the core aspiration? What is the core aspiration out of those three passions? What is it that actually makes you get out of bed? What is it that ignites you? What is it that absolutely will propel you? Also when you're talking about business and when you're talking about turning passion into something that you would love to do long term, which is what I hope everybody does. I really hope the bulk of people could really find what they're passionate about and pursue that as a career, because then you're going to be really good at it. And in business, when you are facing that challenging time, it's that passion, it's that fire within you that's going to propel you through the difficulties that can arise on your path. So it's really for me just to harness your vision, What is your vision for yourself? What is your vision for the world? And how tie that into, like AMS, for example. AMS has several offerings under the AMS banner, and there's several things that I'm passionate about under that banner. So there's personal development workshops, and there's community. I'm passionate about the community. And then there's business. I'm really passionate about adding a different level of thinking to how our businesses are operating, how we are working with our human capital, how we're developing that. I'm passionate about nature, so I do retreats. And this is how I combine my passion and my vision into several things. So it doesn't necessarily limit you in what you are actually doing out there. In fact, it just gives you so much of room to diversify what you do. So exactly that. Passion and aspiration doesn't necessarily mean just one thing, and each person's different. So we each have a unique blueprint, and I love to know about your uniqueness. I'm amazed by the discoveries that come up on the coaching programs, on the personal transformation programs, because people discover things that they never knew to be possible or they never thought.
Sorry, Ashika. And so that is a process that you would take somebody through. It's not just one quick conversation as to saying, because I think it's also an exploration of self when we're sitting with somebody like yourself and saying, well, I'm actually not 100% sure, at this point in my life. And so you would take a person through this different technique, find out, we channel this person's passion into, correct?
Absolutely. I think a lot of us through our growing up, societal norms, human conditioning, we spend a lot of our lives being something that everyone else expected of us, to a point where we don't even know who we are. So the path is really to discover who you are, to find a love and to find an acceptance within yourself for who you are. And from there, incredible things are born. So once you can really identify with who you are, is it your passion? Or is it a passion that lived through you by your mom, for example? Because those things happen. And a lot of the time, people think it's my aspiration, but is it really? Do you really know who you are? Are you really accepting of this person that you are? So it really all comes down to the core of you.
And how do you find it to, when you say what makes you get out of bed? What do you help somebody who feels that they're in a rut at the moment and that's difficult to have that idea of what gets them out of bed? What is that tool, that one tool that you would give somebody to say, all right, just do this one thing a day to help you get to the next step, which is then, discovering your passion or discovering a reason to get out of bed or a reason to feel alive? What is that one tool which you would recommend?
I think it all begins with thought, because we're not conscious of actually what we're thinking. A lot of our thought, actually all of our thought, is driving a certain emotion. Our emotion is actually driving our decisions. So if I can actually just get you to be conscious of what you're thinking, is your thought process actually a nurturing one? Or is it debilitating? Because if your thought processes are debilitating, your body's going to follow suit. Your emotions are going to follow suit. So I always start with the fundamentals, which is the logical mind, with belief systems. What do you believe about yourself? And it all comes back to what I think about myself becomes true for me. And that our amazing teacher Louise Hay said, think and believe about myself is what becomes true for me. So that's really the fundamentals. I start there. What I think and believe about myself becomes true for me. So you'll find a person that believes that they're not good enough will attract experiences to feel not good enough. A person who is generally feeling well and confident about themselves, who feels that they're capable, who has belief in themselves, they actually attract a different round of experiences and people into their space. So what I think about myself and believe about myself becomes true for me. And it works either way.
So what I'm getting out of that is, firstly, that be aware of what you're thinking in the morning, because I'm sitting back and I'm thinking, what did I think this morning when I woke up?
Yes,
And I was
yes.
literally trying to think, I can't remember what I was thinking. And do I actually think certain things? I remember looking at my watch and seeing it was 8 o'clock, which is something that rarely ever happens. I never ever sleep late. And that was the first thing that came into my mind. I just went, wow, this was so
Mhm.
rare. But again, thinking of the day before and the day before, I'm struggling to remember what was I thinking. And to me, the tool that I'm getting out of this conversation is have a notebook next to your bed, or have something that triggers, what am I thinking this morning, and
Sure,
is it
sure.
benefiting me?
Absolutely. And Louise Hay has a wonderful tool. It's called the tool of affirmation. This is also very scientific. It's actually neuroscience and neuroplasticity, where we rewire our thinking patterns. So when I'm actually thinking a thought and I become aware of it, I'm aware that I'm thinking a certain thought, I have the ability to choose. Is this what I want to think? Is this what I want to believe? Does it serve me? And how can I change that? So it's something we call positive affirmation. And through repetition, we reprogram our conscious mind and also the subconscious mind over a period of time to thinking more positive, nourishing thoughts. So by default, it can happen naturally over a period of time because you're actually physically rewiring your brain through neuroplasticity. It's called neuroplasticity.
Well, that's fantastic, and I'm actually glad I'm having this discussion with you today, because I think there is something within my personal life that is a bit of in a bit of a rut, just feeling like you're in that deep trench, and how do you take
Mhm.
that step out of that? And that's a reminder, and I know Louise Hay's work so well. That was part of my beginning of my journey, having her first or my first book, which was Heal Your Life, Heal Yourself, Heal Yourself, Heal Your Life. I forget
Yes,
the exact name. So I know her work and I know her affirmations, and yet sometimes we get so deep in that trench that we forget. We forget.
absolutely.
And we need somebody, and this is why people like you are so important, coaches who can help us to kind of remind us, to remind. I love the way that Neil Donald Walsh always says that, remind, to
Remind.
remind your mind and to remember what it is that
Yes.
you already know innately. And so I'd like to know, Ashika, all the other things that you have a whole lot of things that you have to offer. Would you like to run through those things, the different products that you have available?
Sure. So I'm really passionate about business. I think, there's a whole lot that I've learned in my years in becoming a business owner. And I don't believe anyone needs to struggle through building a dream. So I have a business coaching program that I do where I walk new entrepreneurs through starting up their businesses. I'm really passionate about people, so I do the Louise Hay 2-day transformational workshops. I also do personal life coaching. I do business coaching, and I have recently moved into training where we actually certify holistic healers and therapists as certified facilitators with the Education and Training Development CETA. This is a bridge we've been building for many years, thinking about how beneficial our work is and how it could benefit corporations. I mean, I had that vision for, I think, 7 years now. I found that if we could get our holistic therapists and our holistic healers certified as facilitators with the CETA, corporations were more willing to look at what we were offering. So I run this 3-day program. It's a NQF 5-level course, and we certify anyone really wanting to take something and offer it on a corporate platform. I love to work with the healers because I think we've got so much to give. So that's also one part of what I'm doing at the moment. And then I have my own experiences with grief. So I have grief workshops that I do, and I have grief retreats. Also have retreats for couples and marriages. There's just so many workshops. But yes, each bringing a core aspect of wholeness, because each holds that element of bringing you back to yourself. That's, I think, the link that we all are looking for. We're all looking for that feeling of inclusion. We want to be included in life. We don't want to feel like we're separate, and we're not. Yeah. So each one of these offerings holds the core of self. Whether it's a corporate seminar, oh yes, I do corporate seminars as well, and corporate workshops. So we've now taken this whole module and made it available in various self-development programs for corporations and companies to benefit, while staff to benefit.
Yeah, that is very important, because as we step into those big organizations, we are able to transform so many more people in one go, where it is very difficult to maybe find the individual to kind of say, I need help, where in a corporate environment, you really get to change so many more people's lives.
Absolutely. And something else we have been exploring along the line is a lot of corporations have social responsibility. So we would love to partner with corporations where we become service providers to them, and we can deliver the skill to the community, because so part of social responsibility that these companies have is to build the community. So what if we really took the skill and delivered it to the community, and instead of giving them fish, teach them to fish? I think it would just build such immense unity, and it would really build up those communities if we could have this available to them.
Exactly, and build up self-esteem. And one of the things that I thought about yesterday is, why do people steal, or why do people take something that doesn't belong to them? And I realized that we would not be doing, and I say we because we all have the potential to do that. Everybody has the potential to take, or
Sure.
to do harm to somebody else. We all have that potential. And what is the reason that people get pushed to that point is because they have low self-esteem. They are in a situation where they don't know how to get out of it, lack of income, or don't have a job. And so it's society kind of forces this to happen. And I'm not not saying that they don't take responsibility for what they're doing.
Sure.
But at
Sure.
the end of the day, if we can build up humanity to the point where we don't even have to go to that length to survive, and to be able to go out there and be an entrepreneur, or to make a difference in within humanity on this planet. It's great work you are doing, Ashika.
Thank you so much for that, Antoinette. I just believe, there are two ways that we act, and one is out of love and one is out of fear. So I just take it back to myself every day in everything that I do. Am I doing this out of love? Am I doing this out of fear? And I find that most of my actions every day, when they come from love, are really beneficial and fulfilling, not only to myself, but to everybody who is engaged with me in that space.
Yeah, that is correct. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to share with us, I'm happy to have a couple more minutes, and then we'll go into how people can get hold of you. Where are you situated, your social media, and also is physical meetings the only way, or do you also assist people in other ways like Skype or Zoom or FaceTime? You can wrap up with anything you would like to share, maybe a quote or an affirmation, and then go into your contact details.
Sure. So I think one other thing and a very important part of what we do, and I did not mention, was our youth development programs. So I'm really passionate about children. Our Heal Your Life groups are really actively involved in empowering educators so that they can relate to our children, empowering children so that they can understand themselves, and we can alleviate so many struggles that young people have. Yes, so that's just something else, that we have, that we are really passionate about as well. In terms of contacting me, I'm really available for obligation free consults with corporations that want to explore the potential of the program. The results are measurable. We can look at how to design something for them. So that's available. The meetings are available obligation free. Coaching is available online on Skype, via telephone, or in person if people are in KZN. The personal development workshops also, we have them in KZN, and I will be in Johannesburg next year as well, hosting the retreats and workshops. To reach me, you can reach me via my mobile. You can reach me. I have a Facebook page, which is AMS Coaching and Consulting. It's at AMS Coaching and Consulting on Facebook. And our website is www.amstraining.co.za. My mobile is 083 320 1939. My email, there's two of them. You can reach me on Soorju, ASOORJU, at healyourlife.co.za, or you can reach me at Ashika, ASHIKA, at AMS Training. So it's AM for Mary, S for Sugar, Training, TRAINING.co.za. I'm constantly developing myself. There's always more to learn. I just consider myself an eternal student. So I have currently actually over 455 core skills hours.
Fantastic. And then also, you can also find Ashika on the Body and Mind website, which is www.bodyandmind.co.za. We also have our blog, which is bodyandmindblog.co.za. And you can also now find us in your app store, which is iPhone as well as Android. Just look for the Body and Mind Health Directory, and you can find all our blogs, all our Skype conversations with all of our members, and also you will find all Ashika's details and everything she has to offer with a link to her website, if that is an easier way for you to contact. So thank you for having this wonderful conversation with us today, and really enjoy chatting to you, Ashika.
Oh, I enjoyed it so much, Antoinette. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been wonderful. And yeah, I just hope to reach many people that just know that there's hope, just know that there's some way to go. Because I think a lot of people are struggling out there, and they're feeling helpless, and they really don't know what to do or where to go. And yeah, there is a way.
Great. Would you like to sign off with a Louise Hay quote for us?
I think my all-time favorite is, I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Because at every age and stage of our lives, we're constantly changing. And if we can just love and accept ourselves exactly as we are, as we evolve and grow, that's an amazing thing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ashika.